back on the monkeys. Monkeys. Turn them back on.
Well, hello and welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
Oh, I do.
Hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch, but there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster, browsing the aisles, picking out a movie by hand, and grabbing a package of jelly beans on the way home to put in a martini glass to drink while you watch. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. My name is Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two dudes whose penance stare will not work on me because I do not have a soul. Sean Pryor and AJ Vance, how the heck are ya?
Did you say penis stare?
My penis. You would like my penis?
Your penis stare.
Yes.
You just pull it
stare
out and like have Mike stare at it, and he's like, I feel nothing.
Yeah.
I don't have a soul. I don't know what that is.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
You want me to give it a pinch? You're fine. It looks
fine.
like glaucoma. I don't know what that is.
Glaucoma. Your one eye's got glaucoma. What's going on?
I do, fellas, before we start, I do want to take a second on a personal note to say something quick to our audience, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah.
It's been more than 4 years since we've decided to do this podcast. I added it up last week. I was going through a bit of a rut. 20 hours per week, just me. This is not Sean and AJ. Let's add them into this too, is what I spend on this podcast. That's watching the movies, that's recording, that's traveling to and from our studio, editing, uploading, making content, handing the back end of like Patreon and sponsor obligations, our LLC, all that shit. I had to do our taxes. All of this away from my family. I have two daughters now, and I think, what do they say? Most people, other than sleep and work, you have like 60 hours of free time a week. 20 of them is spent on this podcast. And there are times where the smallest thing can literally make me be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Kind of like maybe some online interactions we had recently where I'm like, this is stupid. Why are we even doing this? But then I think about our audience. I think about what we've accomplished and the messages that we get just every day, voicemails, messages, emails of people saying you're affecting my life. Thank you for doing this. I think about our buddy from like a year in that said that he almost called it quits on life and said, you guys saved me. Like, that is literally all the fuel I could ever need. I am shot out of a cannon, inspired and ready to continue this podcast right now. So on behalf of myself, Sean and AJ, thank you to the best, most chillest, most incredible podcast audience that we could ever ask for. You are why we do this, and you are now sitting on this couch next to me. That's why we have this. So I just had to take that time to say something.
Beautiful. I couldn't agree more. This is, I mean, sitting here with you guys talking about movies is crazy enough that we get to do this and keep doing it, and have the backing to keep doing it. But the extra bonus is the people who interact with us. And the friends and fans online that keep supporting and just keep doing what they're doing and adding to the conversation.
Yep.
More times than not, they say something about a movie, and I'm like, I never would have thought about that. That's amazing.
Do you want to take my spot?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah.
Man.
All we ask in return is just continue to share this. Send this podcast out into the world. If you do that, I'll continue to sit on this couch and talk about movies. How about you, AJ?
You are the fourth chair to our show.
Yeah.
You are, as the listener. And in the great words, I didn't know I was going to get emotional on Ghost Rider. Thanks.
I'll put a thing that says skip ahead to 5 minutes.
Disclaimer, I don't mind. No, but as we also say, though, and a great motto that I think we do keep, you know what, you guys are great, and also just be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other, man.
Be excellent to each other. It's a great motto to live by. There is no reason to be not excellent to other people, unless they're like murderers or something. But you know what I mean. Even then, hey, just be excellent. All you got to do is you, and you got to be excellent. That's all you got to do. So thank you guys for being excellent to us.
Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss a movie nominated for Best Horror Film by the Saturn Awards.
Yeah.
One of the few Marvel comic-based movies in which Stan Lee did not appear. The first movie to contain the fully animated version of the CGI-enhanced Columbia Pictures logo, voted on directly by our Patreon members, just in case someone thinks we picked this on purpose. We are, of course, talking about 2007's Ghost Rider.
Great year.
Damn dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with The Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
We've got our Illuminidal candle of Nic Cage because this is his movie. We are currently lighting it. If you want to send us a candle, go to Illuminidal. Find your favorite actor, send it our way. But this was, like I said, voted on by Patreon. We gave them 5 movies, I believe. Yeah, 5 movies of actors who needed to make the jump into Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
We've got 3 at the top of Mount Rushmore. We needed 1 more. So we gave them Cage for Ghost Rider, that one with 29% of the vote. Rick Ducommun, Hunt for Red October, 1 vote less, 28%. We had Arnold in Twins, 26%. Mary Ellen Trainor, Romancing the Stone, 9%. And not even standing a chance, Keanu Reeves, River's Edge, 8% of the vote. I thought they would have said Keanu for sure, Sean, but they said not a chance.
I was going for an outlier. I've been wanting to watch that movie, so...
So at this point, we still need 1 more. We have John Candy, Steve Buscemi, and Nic Cage at the top, and we still need 1 more to slide into that 4th spot.
Man, I thought for sure Starling would have voted for River's Edge.
Who knows?
Let me down, buddy.
Well, if you're new to the podcast, we're going to be reviewing Ghost Rider scene by scene with a modern eye.
That's me.
But in order to do that properly, first we talk about it with nostalgia. AJ, first time you saw this movie, what were your thoughts? What was your nostalgic rating?
I thought for sure that I was like, oh man, this is just going to be gone 60 seconds with skeletons and motorcycles, right? So let's do it. And I remember watching it. You know what? I'm sure I paid money for this at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I did because I was like, yeah, dude, Ghost Rider, let's go. I was in college right now, like at that point, or just getting out of my senior year of high school is 2007. And then I'm going to college. I mean, I'm gonna go see this movie, right? Because you got to have something to do. And I enjoyed it. I was like, man, this is a lot of fun.
Wow.
I was like, I don't get Nic Cage, why he's here,
Man.
but he is, and that's just the way I felt. I was like, isn't he way older than he's? Anyways. It's fine. It was a good, fun movie, man. I thought I'll give this a 7.1.
7.1. Sean, what about you, brother?
You say excellent year, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. This was the year of Era Vulgaris by Queens of the Stone Age came out. A very formative album for me. I was skateboarding a lot. I was biking at night to lose weight, and my grandma gave me like a mile counter, and every mile that I got, she would give me like $10.
$10 a mile?
Yeah,
On a bike?
Yeah, dog.
You're raking it in.
I rode 1,000 miles the summer of 2020. I mean, like, what is that, like $1 million?
I mean, you got like the costume and everything. You got like the spandex.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to ride that much, you need the costume.
I was in jeans and a coat.
and a trench coat.
It was
Your
sweating.
trench coat's getting caught in the back wheel.
Yeah, it slowed me down.
It didn't breathe like the spandex. Your
And I
trench
barely
coat's
breathed either. I still have asthma.
your trench coat's getting like caught like a baseball card, just close up.
There he goes again. The ghost of whatever neighborhood that is. Anyway, I saw this in the theater.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah. It's truly. I saw this in the theater and, I had a great time. But around that time, I was in high school and just having a shit ton of fun with my friends. So, it was a great time. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5 for Sean. I'm going to have to call myself an NA on this because I thought I kept mistaking like the Punisher and Ghost Rider all for kind of the same stuff back then. And I think I saw one scene where we'll talk about it later, where he saves the person from being mugged. And I thought, it's just a crime fighting guy that's on fire, like, and he just battles crime. I don't really care for this. So I think I kind of avoided it. Was in my Nic Cage, like, I don't want to do the Nic Cage thing phase. So I'm going to give myself an NA. We do have an executive producer on the show today, Starling. He says, just so you know, there's a movie called Ghost Writer that came out a few years after Ghost Rider that I saw by accident on cable thinking it was this Marvel movie. Highly recommend Writer, as it stars Ewan McGregor and Pierce Brosnan in what is essentially the Manchurian Candidate minus the incest, spoilers, on Cape Cod.
Damn.
Anyway, after that one attempt to see the bizarre movie of the superhero who's a skeleton on fire, it never happened, and I never had an urge to see it, despite seeing all the other Marvel movies a dozen times each, so it's a fiery goose egg for Starling.
Dang.
Wowzers.
So, my friends, we are a 7.3 nostalgically, which I think that's going to be fairly high on the whole rating scale, wouldn't you say? 7.3 of all the movies we've done nostalgically puts it all alone in 86th spot. It is slightly worse than Batman, but slightly better than The Warriors. I kind of like that.
Whoa.
That's kind of a really cool spot for that.
Really?
Is that the first time it's ever been like, whoa,
Maybe.
for the nostalgic
Maybe
meter?
it should stay there.
It's like for me it's kind of like something needs to change here.
Nostalgic.
This is a big one. Nostalgically, this needs to change.
By the way, Ghost Writer is a Roman Polanski movie.
Huh.
Okay, well, Gus Polanski's brother did that one. It's pretty sweet.
Gus.
He was the polka king of the Midwest. But next, we got to wipe away all this nostalgia. We got to go to Sean. He's going to give us all the important details of the movie. Sean, what do you got on this one?
Produced by Avi Arad, Michael DeLuca, Gary Foster, David S. Goyer, and Stan Lee. He's got to be there. Cinematography by Russell Boyd. He also did Picnic at Hanging Rock, Tin Cup, AJ.
Hey.
Liar. Nope, that's Liar.
Oh.
Dr. Doolittle, and Master and Commander, and Crocodile Dundee.
That's quite a spread.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Edited by Richard Francis Bruce. Music by Christopher Young. One of my favorite composers, actually. He did Hellraiser, The Dark Half, Urban Legend, Swordfish, and Spider-Man 3. Mm-hmm. Written and directed by Mark Steven Johnson. He did Daredevil, When in Rome, Killing Season, and Simon Birch. Yeah.
Simon Birch and Daredevil. That's a double feature if I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah. Cast: Nicolas Cage, Ava Mendes, Donald Logue, Peter Fonda, Sam Elliott, Matt Long, Raquel Alessi, Brett Cullen, Wes Bentley, and Rebel Wilson. An adaptation of Ghost Rider was in development as early as 1992 with various Hollywood types involved that would have definitely changed what we have today. Gail Ann Hurd, producer of Terminator and Terminator 2, was attached as producer at one point, along with David S. Goyer pinned to write the script. At one point, John Voight was on board as producer, with Stephen Norrington, director of Blade, as director, and Johnny Depp in talks to play the titular role.
Okay.
Respect.
Honestly, kind of. I mean, like nowadays,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp makes a lot of sense. Like vampires,
Maybe not
of Hollywood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Once producer Avi Arad was on board as producer, he wanted Eric Bana to play the role, but gave him the Hulk instead. And in 2001, Nic Cage was finally brought up as a potential to play the role. Him being who he is and a fan of the comic, it was a no-brainer. But as these things tend to do, they get stuck in development hell with numerous stops and starts. Eventually, with the success of Spider-Man, the film finally had momentum to move forward, with Mark Steven Johnson taking control and Cage finally coming back. Just a shit ton of like, yeah, I think we're going to do it. No, we're not going to do it. I think, yeah, we might do it. And we got Johnny Depp. Nah, we're not going to do it. Now we got Nic Cage now, but he's busy with the Family Man and the Weatherman. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, it turns out he's got a tattoo on his arm of Ghost Rider.
100%.
I don't think Ghost Rider would have a tattoo of himself, so let's scrap it.
Yes. I might make an argument later that this is like a transformative or like a kind of a spiritual role for Nic Cage.
You might make that argument.
I might.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
See if he makes that
Stay
argument.
tuned. After even more delays and setbacks, decisions had to be made. Originally, the villain of the story was going to be Scarecrow, but in order to avoid confusion with the DC villain, they opted to use Blackheart, and Cage wanted the film to be R-rated, but in order to get the most bang for your buck, you got to go PG-13. You had to make your money back. He was a big advocate of, like, fighting for this movie being right. Like, it should be hard-edged, smoking character, badass.
Some deaths.
Yeah, and like some true violence on screen. But obviously you can't have that. Principal photography began on February...
Think of the children.
Principal photography began on February 14th, 2005, where Peter Fonda was cast as Mistopheles. The film shot in and around Melbourne Docklands Film Studios in Australia. Ghost Rider was released on February 16, 2007, and on a budget of $110 million. The film made $228.7 million at the box office and garnered one sequel. Directed by the same people who did the Crank movies, and I haven't seen it yet, but that makes me want to watch it.
Well, thanks, Sean. Up next, we got to go to AJ. He did all the research for us. We got to learn about critics and fans, what they thought about this thing. What do you got, man?
I'm going to use this curse, and I'm going to take it. I don't know what he says. There's nothing important here, guys. It's the tomato meter.
I did not mean to hit that early, but it was nice. It's just in an awkward place back here.
Timing worked out great, to be honest. Oh, shoot. Well, AJ's timing wasn't, though. Let's see, guys. I've got you here. For our tomato meter, God, 28%.
Tied with Boondock Saints at the bottom of the charts. Bottom 15 of any movie we've done, per the critics.
Wow. Popcorn meter, the esteemed popcorn meter, 48%.
Okay.
Oh,
a little
man,
better.
What a discrepancy. 5.3 on IMDb.
You'd think 5.3, slightly better than average, right? Slightly better than average. 5.3 out of 10. Sure. That is bottom 5 of any movie we've done, tied with the illustrious Three Ninjas and Blank Check, per the fans.
Wow.
They're in hell royalty of our ranking.
They are.
But in another realm, good company.
Good company, huh? Let's see, guys. The best one here, Liam Lacey, the Globe and Mail out of Toronto. Canada is really hurting for some entertainment at this point. They gave it a 63 out of 100. This timeout, writer and director. This timeout, writer and director Mark Steven Johnson has bounced back with a movie so full of camp spirit it should come with tents and a marshmallow roast.
All right,
fun. Los Angeles Time. It's entertaining to watch old hothead do his thing with his fiery change and his pennant stare. But for a comic book with a rebel spirit, this adaptation feels obediently conventional. Probably going in line with, like, can't get away with much in PG-13 land at this point, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Let's see. Peter Travers, Rolling Stone.
Gotta have him.
Gotta have him.
Gotta have Trav.
I mean, it's the Rolling Stone. We're talking about Ghost Rider. It's all cool stuff, all right?
Yeah.
We're like, fuck.
Jimi Hendrix and shit.
Dude, right? Oh, Rolling Stones. The real evil in this flick isn't Blackheart, Wes Bentley, the devil's son. It's the soul-sucking devil of a modern cinema. Hollywood formula.
Okay.
Noted. Guys, let's hear something from the, obviously there's some bad ones from the critics. Let's see what boosted that 20% for the popcorn meter.
You don't hear, interject real quick. You don't hear people, at least I don't anyway, hear critics comparing Marvel movies today, like Peter Travers is right now, saying it's just the same old shit.
No.
They don't usually say that.
I feel like I'm the only one saying that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Netflix movie, same old shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because I think this is on point actually for this review for this person. This was in 2007. This is Blombard one.
Oh,
yeah, Blombard.
Blombard fucked her.
Blombard. Who else?
The Blombardi Trophy, right? The Super Bowl just happened. Kind of fun.
Thanks, man. The Blombardi. Oh man,
you get it.
AJ didn't know the name of the trophy. That's why.
Closest Marvel movie to a comic book yet.
Okay.
Yet. I have to stress yet. This film shows how versatile of an actor Cage can be. This is a 10 out of 10, by the way.
Goddamn right.
10 out of 10. They loved this movie. This man gave it like an extra couple points of boost at that popcorn meter. The film shows how versatile an actor Cage can be. He demonstrates to me an Oscar-worthy performance. The storyline follows the original Ghost Rider comic book almost exact. Not to mention, it's an incredible thrill ride. The special effects are amazing. If you enjoy watching a film for its pure beauty, this movie is for you. Between the camera angles, transitions, and scenery, it makes totally worth seeing. People may think that the entire Ghost Rider is CG the entire time. I feel that this is not true. He looks so good. And maybe it was just amazing CG. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
I waited years for this film to come out. Now that it has, I feel that it was well worth the wait. If you don't want to spend so much money to go see a movie, or if you only see one movie a year, make sure this is the movie that you see. The storyline, the acting, the soundtrack, the sound effects are so extraordinary. All in all, I would highly recommend this movie to everyone.
Wow. Everyone.
Man, to everyone.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I
Good
mean,
job.
come on, guys. This is another 10 out of 10, guys. I'll pick and choose from this one, though. This is also in 2007. This is A Jaws Forever. 10 out of 10. A thrilling thrill ride that's thrilling. I saw this movie at a special sneak peek at our movie theater yesterday, and I could not believe it. Ghost Rider is the best action thriller movie of the year so far. So this came out in February, or must have been like early in the year.
Okay.
Let's see. Nicolas Cage's performance is absolutely incredible. His performance and the movie is stunning. Did the same person write this one? They got multiple names, and they're just there to boost Ghost Rider on IMDb.
It's a stunning stunner that stunned me. Just different adjectives.
Cage fan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my God. He said, special effects are awesome. Motorcycle scenes, especially when it's riding on the skyscraper, as seen in a trailer for Ghost Rider, it would be great in IMAX. I can't believe they aren't releasing it in IMAX. It would look so cool. I think this movie will be a great hit when it comes out in theaters. I'm hoping the box office for Ghost Rider will be at least $150 million.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I hope those guys make their money.
I got goals for this movie.
It did. It exceeded.
Oh,
that.
yeah, it did.
The movie is a furiously quick movie that seems to go by in a half hour, although the movie is 114 minutes long. That's an hour and 54 minutes.
Oh, okay.
He put that in parentheses.
Actually, like I don't really want to make fun of him because sometimes I do that in my head. I'm like, hour.
I do too.
114.
Yep.
What does that mean?
I look over to my wife. I'm like, what is that?
How many?
How many is that?
Hey, how many is that?
I can do 90. That's all I
can do 90s.
90 and 120. I can figure out.
I
The rest I have no clue.
I can't. Yeah.
104.
No, I have no idea.
That is one of the hardest ones. When it's like 102.
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh,
Is it an hour and
Is
two?
that long?
This is not a cliche comic book thriller, and it's not a cheap, cheesy B movie. It will last at least 4 months in the theaters. I hope so. Anyway, they're like pulling like sports bets on like how these movies are gonna do. All in all, awesome movie, cool special effects, awesome performances. I got one more, guys. This is painful. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you triple cheeseburger. Okay, I wanted to break from my work. I knew that this was going to be a B movie, but it's so bad. I am not picky when it comes to these movies. I just enjoy these. But this one totally sucked. Avoid the temptation to watch this. It's so bad that it's bad. Okay.
All right.
He's just said, when the lights turn on in the theater, when the credits start rolling, you might want to avoid looking at other people. So would they, most of them. And and then rush to the exit. This movie is a 2-hour video game. My theater showed this video game in DTS, though.
Okay, cool.
Cheap CGI, too. All right. Guys, we got an entry into the Little Lebowski Urban Achievers. Wes Clark jumped in and did give us one little tidbit here. He said, when I first saw this, it was in my Nic Cage phase. We all have Nic Cage phases.
I'm still in it.
And like, well, I know, but
It's not a phase.
It's not a phase.
It's not a phase.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely loved him going crazy, then turning into a fireball. It seemed fitting for Cage to get hot-headed. For the time, I thought the actual transformation scenes were still pretty good. I love seeing Sam Elliott, too. Nostalgic 8.5.
All right.
And a modern day 7.2. We'll see how it goes.
You want to read your review, get your name on air, check out patreon.com/confusedbreakfast.
What was the log line for Eric's bad movie reviews?
Oh, yeah. So I actually wrote it on the post. Eric's Bad Movie Reviews. We've talked about him a million times. The greatest website, greatest movie critic of all time. He said, I've often remarked to myself that Nicolas Cage's over-the-top acting style is like that of a man whose head is on fire. And now here he is in Ghost Rider, playing a man whose head is actually on fire.
It's so good, dude.
Well, my dudes, we've been found to be frauds. 4+ years of trailblazing was a farce, but we got to keep the lights on. We got bills to pay. So in order to keep this train moving forward without a fall from grace, I ended up selling my soul in the promise that we can actually put out an original and good podcast episode.
That's nice of you, dude.
Today's the day we cash in, though. And listen, any man that's got the guts to sell his soul for a podcast has got the power to change the world. I didn't do it for greed. I did it for the right reason. Maybe that puts God on our side. To them, that makes us dangerous, makes us unpredictable. That's the best thing we can be right now. Here we go.
Beautiful.
So scene 1, the devil sends his bounty hunter to retrieve the contract of San Venganza for 1,000 corrupt souls. The writer refuses to give him the contract and runs away, escaping the devil in the process. A century and a half later, we meet stunt writer Johnny Blaze and his father Barton Blaze. Johnny wants to run away, finding out his father has cancer. The devil offers to save him in exchange for his soul. The deal is done, but his father is killed in a motorcycle stunt.
The thing about legends is sometimes they're true. Honestly, I feel like you're cheating having Sam Elliott in this.
Yeah. Well,
Are you trying to make me love this?
you're cheating by you can get away with that dialogue because Sam Elliott said it.
Yes.
That's why you're cheating.
That's a very yes. yes.
The thing about legends. Sometimes the bar eats you.
I will be making a cut. That's the thing about legends is that sometimes there's a man. I won't say a hero because what's a hero? But sometimes there's a man, and I'm talking about the dude here. I mean, that is literally what I thought we were doing at this point.
Oh, man.
I feel like Sam Elliott coined the phrases like, so the story goes, and like legend has it.
Yeah.
I feel like
Coors, beverage of choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like he made those
Coors.
terms of phrases up.
I will say that, like, as much as I love Sam Elliott, though, like, we are totally ruined by other times he's done this. When he has been the Big Lebowski narrator,
Yeah.
I don't think he's been better than that ever. And I think that he is that person. In this one, it feels a little to me. It doesn't compare as good as some of the other times he's done this narration role.
I make a joke and say that I feel like they're cheating, but I do kind of feel that way, as in like, yeah, you just got Sam Elliott, and so like you're saying, AJ, like the dialogue is
It's the dialogue.
is just amplified because it is Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
But it's bad dialogue.
If it was anybody else, like
Phoebe Cates.
it'd be
Sure.
It would be beautiful, actually.
Well, I think that he is better. He's best when he's got a little bit of cheek to
Yeah.
him as a narrator, like in the Big
Like
Lebowski.
Or even like Coors commercials.
Yeah, exactly. Rocky
I
Mountain.
lost my train of thought.
The Rocky Mountain water flows down into my loins. No, anyway.
Built for tough.
built
It's
for
not even
tough.
me, but it is.
You're right, AJ. You're right. It's when there's that like cheekiness to it. It's better.
When I can hear he's got a smirk on his face.
Yes, he
as
doesn't
opposed
have it here.
to this, he has the stare on his face. You know what I mean? It's the that's the Roadhouse stare.
He's got the Roadhouse stare.
This is like older Roadhouse Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
More so than anything.
Well, didn't they say that literally the caretaker was inspired by Sam Elliott? Like that,
I don't know.
The writing of the comics was like Sam Elliott would be that guy.
Well, it's perfect casting.
Of course it is.
It's like literally the most perfect casting. But I do have to say, like, are we really expected to believe, like, at any point later on, like, because this is the way it felt to me. As we get to it later, when Sam Elliott pops up again, we see him. It's like, are we supposed to be like in question if he's the guy? Like, you know,
we'll talk about that later because I have some thoughts about that.
It's just like we're sitting here. It's
Whoa,
like,
he was the guy.
well, he was him the whole time. He knew. Like, that's kind of my thing.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
This is pretty great, though. I mean, like, I don't buy this from the start. This like love story.
No,
I thought this is my first time watching this. I thought that the young Johnny Blaze was riding his bike and like looked in the crowd and saw a hot chick that he's like, oh, I should totally try to go talk to this chick after the show. But it's implied that they've like been together forever.
Yeah. And
it's just really strange too, because like he sat there and like carved in the tree for like 30 minutes while she just stared blankly and onto the horizon before she tells the worst news that they could ever have, that she's moving away. And I just don't buy. Part of my problem with this whole story, I don't buy his love relationship with her, especially one that they then went, 30 years then without talking after this? Mm-hmm. And I don't buy the dad relationship.
Yes.
Like the, oh my God, I have to do whatever it takes to sell my soul. I will sell my soul to make my dad live.
And like the dad is such a cliche. By the way, Jarrett Layoff, Confused Breakfast After Database. He was in Replacements.
Who was
Brett
dad?
Cullen.
Was
Brett Cullen.
Brett
yes.
Cullen, the dad. Yeah, he was. He was the other quarterback.
The asshole. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't really buy the relationship because like your son is half of your meal ticket.
Yeah.
And all you do is bicker at him and be like, you got to get out of this life, man. Like, you think she's going to love you? She's handsome, rides a motorcycle? Yeah, I think she's
going to. Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Like, I know that it's like, I'm running out of time because as we find out, he has cancer. I'm running out of time, and so I need you to like not make the worst decisions as me. Is like as he's like coughing his lungs out, he's like, I need a cigarette.
I listen. I don't want you to go off and like make a life for yourself and like start a family. I need you to be a carny.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to be a carny for the rest of your life.
By the way, and that's the other thing, bringing up the carny thing.
Because they are.
Because they are.
They're basically carnies.
They're carnies. Like, this has to be a traveling thing, right?
Well, is it? Because
how are they still in love?
That's what I'm saying.
So correct. That's
so
where
it's
I'm
a
going.
town that has had the exact same motorcycle stunt show and carnival for 40 years.
Maybe they were there for like a couple, like a month, maybe.
Even then,
like,
man.
You know, they just have a residency is what I'm trying to say.
They come around every summer for a month or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess young love does happen fast, but that's why her dad's like, the fuck you are dating this carny.
Is she a part of like, or is her family a part of the show as well?
I don't think so.
Like her mom's the bearded lady or something, and then like it's like,
see, that's a better story.
My parents are getting out of the carny life. We're going away.
They signed a contract with another carny division
with the Barnaby
in
brothers,
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
it's Bubble Boy.
That makes more sense to me. And actually, okay, fuck it. I couldn't believe it. There's an extended version. Did you guys watch the regular one or the extended one?
I hope I did.
How long was it?
Hour 58 or 57.
Okay, then there's like an extra 8 minutes added into an extended version. But like, it does sort of. I don't know.
Did you watch it on?
I watched both. I watched
thing.
Yes,
that's what I watched.
Okay, so you saw when the dad. Like, okay, in the theatrical version, the dad just gets mad at him and then goes to do the jump, and he's just like, I'm going to run away. I hate my dad. But in the extended version, the dad does kind of be like, you know what? You should go, and you should take my bike, and you should get out of here before her dad comes after you. Did you see that?
No.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on because I the last one I watched, the dad was like really cool, and I got more of a sense of why the son wanted to save him.
Okay.
But in the theatrical version, like, what? Why are you selling your soul for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like especially like it's just like these are just so tropey at this point. Like with the dad being like, you can't follow my footsteps, you can't make the same decisions I did, but also I need you to carry on my legacy.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't even know what kind of parenting I'm doing to you right now. And then the dad of Eva Mendes is like, my dad doesn't agree with your lifestyle trope, you know?
Yeah.
So like, we can't ever be together. What's gonna
can't.
happen, you know?
If only there was a famous love story kind of based around what we're feeling right now.
Yeah. Ronnie and Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
True Carney names.
true carnies. Jenny Lynn and
Ronnie Munt.
Munt.
That's from the Howard Stern show. It was the first Ronnie that came to my head.
Perfect.
Roxanne's a pretty good Carney name, though. That's for sure.
That's true. I everything like you're saying though, Sean. Everything at this point, it's very on the nose. It's very in the pocket of just like we need to get this out of the way. Like
Yeah.
we need this to happen. We need it to happen now. Like it's like you can even tell. It feels very flat, like even the carnival world that they're living in, right? Like it feels like it's just a flat thing. They might as well have done this in front of like a painted screen. You know what I mean? That's the way it feels to me, and I don't get much more feeling out of it until, I mean, even when Peter Fonda shows up. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I like Peter Fonda, but I feel like after Easy Rider, it's just like.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh,
Wow. He's
he's
a writer.
I feel like Peter Fonda has been a stunt cast ever since he's been an Easy Rider.
I mean, maybe
Maybe not that far back, but I
Yeah.
just haven't seen, and I just haven't seen other things.
There's a movie called Racing with the Devil where there are motorcycles as well, and that I really love. It's like a horror movie, but that made me think. I'm like, oh, maybe that is stunt casting, that movie, because that was
Yeah.
after Easy Rider. But we did All Saints Day a little bit.
Yep.
And he's just sitting there.
He's just sitting there.
Which I think this is a better role for him. I think he's got a little bit more meat to chew on, and I appreciate that. Like, Easy Rider, Peter Fonda, but he's actually giving a shit. It seems.
I think he's in it.
As you know, an older actor doing this, being like, I don't really. This is just a paycheck, but he's kind of giving some spirit to it. You know?
There's been a lot of portrayals of devils in movies where it's like, I've never liked demons and devils. Like that always scared the shit out of me, mostly because of my upbringing. But like, this guy doesn't scare me at all.
Yeah.
In the least. He never gives me a moment of like, oh, dude.
Not even the moment where like lightning strikes and you just see a marmot, like a rat thing.
Yeah, like he's like.
By the way, how did lightning from outside cast a shadow from inside the tent?
Sean, you're going way too deep.
Hey.
You're going way too deep.
If you look, we're talking about angels.
You know it's a movie, right?
Oh,
Angels, demons, the devil's rider, flaming heads, and you want to get into physics? Would you just calm down?
you're right. Honestly,
He's got a film crew hat on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just like a key grip on set, just like
It's just like
He goes to fucking the food tent at the same time as the director, be like, oh, I noticed you might want my help on the fact that you could see his shadow from the never mind.
technically that wouldn't, like
what are you trying to say?
And the director's like, yeah, that wasn't his shadow. There was a creature outside.
okay. Why don't you just go hold the boom over there?
Hold the boom arm. What about this, like... what about this whole... I'm sure that there's been a lot of changes made for this movie from the original comics and stuff like that, but the whole idea that he can literally just accidentally put a drip of blood on a contract that makes it binding.
Yeah.
Did not like that at all.
Can I just say, like, his reaction gave me the same energy as like that insurance commercial of the fishing guy. Like, oh, you got to be quicker than that. that'll do. That'll do.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good
that'll be perfect. All right. Yeah.
That is exactly what it is. And if you think about selling your soul in any pop culture, it has to be like something so bad that you're like, I will do anything to make this right.
Yeah.
And the devil goes, well, funny enough, I can make that happen for you. You need to sign here and do this. And then the person does it. But this is like, he never asked for it. He never was like, man, I need to save my dad's life. He was still going to run away, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
True.
He was literally just trying to like look it over, and the poor packaging, he got his thumb caught on it. You know what I mean?
He just wanted to read the fine print.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't check the box and then click it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like, I just need to scroll through this and read what's going on. I don't even know what this guy's offering.
You know what?
now.
I'm gonna need to actually like call my lawyer.
Yeah.
Maybe my people can get in touch with your people, Mr. Devil.
Yeah.
I just think that we should go through the logistics on this thing.
Maybe he wanted to ask for him and Roxanne safe passage to start a new life.
Sure. Yeah.
And the devil's like, we'll save your dad. He's like, no, my dad's kind of a dick, dude.
He's already, I mean, he's kind of had a good run.
He's had a good run.
I want to have a good run too with Roxanne.
I would never say this in front of him, but he's kind of dead to me already.
Didn't you get that?
Yeah.
And then the fact that we'll get to it in the next scene, but even moving forward, then he like instantly understands what he's done, even though he hasn't asked for it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's very just.
Which, I mean, it just like, it kind of cements the fact in my mind. I mean, like, I guess you kind of need a little bit of backstory if you don't know, like, Ghost Rider lore, or, like, you read the comics or anything, but it's just my irritants of, like, origin stories, and it's like, this is an origin story within, like, 10, 15 minutes. Which, fine. Like, if do it quick for me, please, because I just want to see the fucking flaming skull.
That's really what we haven't even seen Cage yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Let alone a flaming skull, and we're 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's just like it's just tropey setup shit, and I'm not here for it.
The other part of it too is this is like the origin. This is the origin story of the origin story. Do you realize that?
True.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting to the point where, like, later on in life, we're still in the origin story. He has a 30-year origin story
That we know nothing about.
He hasn't turned into this flaming head guy in 30-some years. And that's an origin story.
Thinking 30 years back in my life, I wouldn't have remembered signing a contract to the devil.
No.
So, like, how does he know that this is still going to happen?
You know how many subscriptions we have that we fucking forget about?
Dude,
I've
thank
signed
God
up for Philo still, guys. That is like $40 a month.
Thank God for Rocket Money, because it gets
Rocket
you out
Money.
of your devil's contract. Hey, you're still subscribed to your devil's contract. Did you get out of that?
Hey, it looks like you're paying interest on your devil's contract.
Your devil's contract?
Do you want us to cancel that for you?
Yeah,
Oh, turns out we can't cancel that because it's the devil.
you're going to have to contact that one in person.
Rocket Money, you got to call us back, okay? We've been trying. We've been trying to call you
I
back.
still have you. I still like you.
I know.
Well, here's a test if you did see the extended version. Do you know what the bike is called? That really nice bike that his dad has that he
Grace.
steals? Okay, so then maybe you did, because the only time I heard it called Grace, the dad goes, take Grace.
Yeah. Okay. In the theatrical.
In
you
the
mean?
extended version.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe it said that at a different time.
I think you can see like it say Grace on the bike, which is stuck in my mind only because Grace, I think, is the
Pulp
name
Fiction.
of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
bike.
I think every weirdo carny rapist has to call their bike Grace. I think they have to call it Grace. You have to either be a carny or a rapist.
I love it.
Did you see the Z on the keys? And there it was.
That would be awesome. That'd be sick.
If that tidbit was there, that'd be a great little Easter egg.
Because then he stole it from Zed.
Yeah.
No, he stole it from fucking Butch.
Yeah.
Because Butch stole it from Zed. Then Butch probably left it somewhere when he left town.
Yeah, he would have just left it.
He took it to a shop.
Yeah.
And he left it.
Yeah.
And then Barton went ahead and did a bunch of stuff to it.
Yeah.
Said I should call this Grace.
We just nailed
And
that.
this was all after his football career.
Obviously.
Yeah. 'Cause
Correct.
He got replaced, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do need a punching face, please.
Oh, you need to punch your face?
Yeah.
Hit it!
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's during when Barton goes down on the jump, when like the contract is like
And
up or whatever.
I do want to talk about this too, by the way, but please go
There
on.
are, I mean, like the stunts in this movie, Evel Knievel kind of stuff in
Yeah.
here, like this. People paying just for someone to go through a flaming hoop with a motorcycle, and that's it. Anyway,
who? Yeah.
so my punchable face. Once that happens, there's like commotion out by the tents and everything. There's a guy with a shit ton of balloons who is just like pointing at the tent, like in the background somewhere, and it's like I think it's Nic Cage's younger self in the,
when
in the
he
foreground.
walks his bike by and they
Yes.
find out there's commotion over
He's
there.
got a shit ton of balloons, and he's just like, like, yeah, we know.
Hey, there was a loud noise in the motorcycle tent. Yeah, there's been a lot of them.
Hey, it angered me.
Good. He's like, no, punchable face. I need to hear.
Like I'm boom operator again. I'm just like,
The idea.
that dude's a fucking asshole.
I just need a mini series of like on social media of just Sean as
should do
an
the thing.
operator.
Yeah, you should do
just-
the cutback thing where there's like it's the most popular trend where they show a scene and then it cuts back to that going.
Unfortunately, I think it's what Kevin James does that.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, Kevin James is like on his social media. He does that.
Oh, dang it. Okay,
well, then,
fine.
never mind.
It's a great idea.
Well,
Yes.
I think I'm going to agree with you. My mention was going to be just the really sweaty bad guy, the wet one.
Oh yeah.
The wet,
yes.
the wet demon.
All of them are extremely punchable.
The wet bandit.
Yes. Mine, we'll talk more about him later, but mine is the second prisoner in the jail cell. It's like, with the southern draw and like close up on his face.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
When they're
one.
coming after Cage in the
Okay.
jail
That's
cell. Yeah, we'll talk a lot more about that piece of shit later.
Hell yeah.
So he does the deal. His dad's dead, and he's like, I got to get out of town. And she's waiting for him in the rain by their tree. And he pulls up, and he's just like, bye. Like, just why would you even like tempt like?
You didn't even need
Go
to
by
drive.
Why'd you
by
even
that.
go over there?
Yeah, it's just like rubbing it in.
Yeah, it's just
Like
like
salt in the wound right there.
She's gonna remember me forever if I do this drive by.
Later, bitch. Have no soul. Bye.
How did the dad die?
okay. This is where I want to get to. Okay, we see this, and it's like this jump.
Okay, it's like he goes up like a 5% grade incline, jumps over 1 foot of nothingness to another 5% grade incline with a 20-foot flaming hoop in the middle.
Yep.
AJ, I'm sorry. One thing. I think I've seen you do this jump on a dirt bike.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not even kidding. Like AJ can ride motorcycles and he's jumped over shit. I've seen it.
Like I just like to, like you could do like little things, right?
Yeah.
This is like, this is like Hot Rod, the movie Hot Rod, on that motorcycle, that like moped thing he's got, right? And like that's my thing. He goes up on this. It should be a moped, and he's got a fun little cape. And this is like, it's like a joke circus. So he goes up and then he just goes, ah! He's a professional death-defying motorcyclist.
Yes.
He's done this exact stupid, dumb jump 309 times and just whoops.
Yeah. And by the way, the aftermath of this. Did you see the flaming hoop?
The whole hoop was like
It's like mangled, destroyed, like
and they don't even show it. They show him go down and then they try to imply that maybe he like broke his back or like he burned to death.
yeah.
But not enough to really make you see what happened. I would like to propose that maybe Devil gave him a heart attack or something, which is why he fell. I don't know. They don't care to tell us whatsoever other than he's dead.
It is.
Ha.
And by the way, it's like also on top of that, on top of it being anticlimactic, I didn't know you could add a anticlimactic cherry on top to be like, it's like dead, and he's just like, huh? It's just like, there's no words. There's nothing. Like, come on, man.
Nothing like carry on my legacy.
He's like, don't fall for. Don't sign the contract with the carnies, Johnny. But they're just like, don't sign the contract. But he's talking about the carnival, not the devil. Like, that's how he applies it. It's a big misconception for his entire life.
Grabs him by the collar. He's like, son, one thing I want to tell you before I die right here, right now.
Yeah.
Don't smoke. Like, it would just be like...
Yeah,
and like
I know,
earlier
Dad.
too, like when he wakes up, he thinks like the contract signing was a dream, and his dad's just like, "Yep, I feel great." And
yeah,
this is all fucking fantastic. This is like one of my issues with this movie is that like they just rub it in your face. It's like, we get it.
We understand.
By the way, I feel great. I'm freshly showered, and I don't really feel like I smoke anymore.
The weird thing is they didn't go far enough to tell us like, hey, I already went to the doctor this morning and the scans came back negative.
Exactly.
It's like fucking.
I got my X-ray right here. It's like, do they give you those?
they give you those, huh? Well, when you're done with it, they do. It's a souvenir. It's like a pat on the back.
Well, scene 2, the devil warns Johnny that he will come for his service someday, and he abandons Roxanne. Meanwhile, we meet Blackheart and 3 other fallen angels who are looking for the lost contract of San Venganza. They kill a bunch of bikers, and the devil confronts them. Blaze shows up for his record jump and sees Roxanne again, who is now a reporter. He completes the jump and then chases her down to ask her out on a date. I don't know. It's a pretty cool transition, though, that I think the one thing I really will speak on that I like about this movie is some of the cinematography is pretty badass in this, like that at the crossroads, with the devil. Some of that wide shot imagery is pretty amazing. The motorcycle, him coming straight onto the camera and then coming back out, and now it's 30 years later, Nic Cage. The stunt work, this stunt actor that goes over this jump in modern day Nic Cage and cracks his helmet on the...
Yeah, it looks brutal.
I guess he really got hurt on that.
Really?
It was a real shot, and this man did get hurt. I don't think they were planning for him to actually crack his helmet on the front tire, but it might be one of the greatest stunts I've ever seen.
He's okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I didn't go that far, but let's go ahead and say he is.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I
it
think
looks great.
It was based on like Evel Knievel's,
Totally.
like one of his big misses.
Yes.
If not the miss, I don't know.
It looked amazing.
But it's pretty dang intense. The one thing I gotta say though, guys, where I would say I'm not surprised they didn't win an award is maybe hair and makeup, most specifically hair, because they really dolled up the guy. What's his name? Matt Long.
Yeah.
The kid. Johnny Blaze. But then you like this transition that these two actors are not the same person.
No.
I'd like to mention that the Roxanne actresses
great.
Yeah.
might be one of the greatest youth to adult transitions I've ever seen.
100%. But I'm sorry, like there's nothing about, like, I think they even said like they gave Matt Long like even a prosthetic nose maybe.
Oh my God.
They did something to him and on top of his hair. And it's like the hair is weird.
It's too weird.
Dude,
It's very black.
It's just like, the only, like, because they're like, well, they do not look like alike whatsoever. They're like, well, we'll just give him the same exact hair. Like it just simply decidedly does not work.
It doesn't work.
And the sooner you get over it, the sooner you're gonna enjoy this movie.
He's still his same young self. It still hasn't changed, you know.
Look, the contract with the devil's keeping him young. It's like, is it?
Boy, you haven't aged a day, Johnny. That's what I wanted.
I wanted the devil to show up and be like, I was looking for a 30-year older version, but here you are. You look the same.
It's like, why didn't they just make Nic Cage look really young? Like, instead of having a whole separate actor.
He's very tan as well. Like, I get, like, maybe he's because he's gonna burst into flames. He's gonna, you know, that kind of thing.
Hot-blooded.
Yeah. Even when he does crash, they're like his whole team, Donald Logue, fucking Donald
Logue, baby.
his whole team comes up to him and is like, let's move him right away.
Yeah.
Let's take his helmet off because his neck's definitely not broken.
No.
But I also, it's implied that literally every jump he does, he does not make, right? It's implied that he's not.
There's a bunch of people in that stadium.
Yeah.
Paying how much money?
I think they're used to him now, like never making his jumps. Isn't that kind of implied a little bit?
It's kind of implied. It's like, I want to say, I feel like I have to give at least some benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to say it's like 50-50. Like, it really is a guess of whether or not he's going to do it.
He either sets a record or is in an accident where he should have died.
Where he should have died.
He walks away.
And either way, we're going to be freaking entertained. It's going to be great. Like if we saw Johnny Blaze was coming through Cedar Rapids and he was going to jump the whatever center and we were all
I'd
through
go.
saying, hey dude, guys, we should go.
We should probably go.
Why should we go? Like, why? Like,
You might see a death live in person. All right.
He's going to either ragdoll or he's going to make it, and we get to be there and witness it regardless.
I
Sounds
did start
good.
to laugh when they're like, his next jump, he's going to try to set a world record to jump the length of a football field, field goal. I was like, this movie is so unrealistic. Like, that is not, there's no way that anybody could ever jump a motorcycle that far. And then I looked it up. He's doing a football field, which in 2005, Trigger Gum essentially did that jump and set the record for 277 feet. On December 31st, 2007, Robbie Madison jumped 322 feet. But the longest current motorcycle jump in history was 425 feet, said by Alex Harville in 2012.
Jeez.
So I thought they were like joking. I thought they were like, of course he's not going to be able to jump a football field. No, apparently people do that on motorcycles.
Apparently, everybody does that, but they don't do it over helicopters,
Yes.
Mike. Yeah. So, you know what? Yeah, there is a bit of a
There's a bit of a difference here. Travis Pastrana? Yeah, right.
Yeah. No way, bro.
Dude, a martini glass full of red and yellow jelly beans.
I bet you did this at once in at point in your life, didn't you?
That's a hell of a rider. A ghost rider.
Fucking God.
Okay, so a rider is where the artist says, "Well, my backstage area needs to have this in it. You know, no brown M&Ms or whatever." That's his rider, but he's the rider.
I've never had a rider, by the way.
But you could be a rider.
Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna move us
Are we
along.
good?
I'm gonna go ahead and
We're
take
okay,
a prop.
right?
I sold my soul, devil. Where's the good episode?
Prop, he said.
Take a prop.
Oh, sorry, geez, Scott.
Ooh, here's a prop.
I want his martini glass of jelly beans.
Oh, yeah.
I like to think that they're like Skittles or whatnot though too.
Yeah.
Just whatever. And by the way, they have to be red and yellow
Yes.
because fire.
Yeah, 100%. Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze.
Blaze it.
What are you going to do, Sean?
Blaze 420.
I want the jacket that he takes. I think it's from the guy in the prison, right, with the spikes.
Yes.
Oh boy, a jacket.
This is swell.
This is really swell.
I like that.
I want the I Leave Bite Marks t-shirt that Rebel Wilson wears.
Nice.
I Leave Bite Marks. Get it? Yeah. No, this is also where we get to meet the fucking Blackheart and the elemental fallen angel demons. And I could have very much... Listen, I don't know how I feel about Ricky Fitz in this movie, okay?
I know.
I don't know how I feel about him in general. What's his actor name?
Wes Bentley.
Wes Bentley. I've never been decided on how I feel about Wes Bentley at all. And this hurts it. This
Okay.
movie hurts my opinion on him. I just don't like how they're like, oh, here he is. Now he's going to scream into the camera, because he's evil. Man, and then they change his voice. I just can't get behind him and the fallen angels at all in this movie.
He's got like a good goth layer to him. Like
Yeah.
I will say that, but at the same time, I with Wes Bentley, I'm kind of here with you. Either the role serves Wes Bentley or it doesn't.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm conflicted on this. When I was a kid, I totally was bought in on it. But watching it now, it's kind of difficult. It feels a little bit phoned in. Now, I also read that he was in the absolute midst and kick of his cocaine era.
Oh.
That explains a lot.
Like he said this. It's not like a rumor. Like he came out. He said like I was in the moment. I was doing a lot of cocaine.
Is that what turned his teeth into what they are nowadays?
What, powder?
Yeah, just like the weird jagged powder look that he has.
I don't. Maybe
I saw him in
think so.
Yellowstone. It's surprising.
And by the way, I enjoy his role in Yellowstone. I think it serves him. He serves it. In this, one of them is not serving the other, and I can't decide what it is.
I think you're exactly right. Where I do think that he's buying so much into this role, and maybe too much. I think that might be it. Where it's so over the top.
It is
his performance, and like even like the filmmaking here is like so spoon fed, and there's even more of this later. But like every time one of them shows up, it's like Wallow, Abigar, Abigor. It's like just so like everyone knows that's their names. Like we don't give a shit.
Like,
by the way,
I'm never
they're elements.
Unless I'm doing a podcast where I have to write most things down. I'm not gonna remember your names, Wallow and Abigail,
and they're not even memorable names.
no.
So who cares if we know what they are? Why can't you just be like water, wind, fire,
or just don't say,
be like, oh, these are okay. I'm there with you. All right, let's see what they can do.
Or Rick and Steve.
Yeah.
No, and if he is overplaying this role, then these three are underplaying this role because they're the most non-memorable people I've ever seen in a movie.
It's very early 2000. Well, I get like early aughts, whatever, of comic book movies. Like because it just does feel. I mean, I get it's funny we're doing two comic book movies back to back here, but like I have to like have that in my mind as well while watching this because I'm like, well, they would do that on a comic strip on like a page or something. It's like they would announce who's here so the audience knows. It's like, but like it doesn't translate to a film.
That's what gets really difficult going between like when you have a comic book film and you're gonna bring it into our world essentially. You're bringing it into our reality to a degree, right? Like. Everything is normal. This is the normal world. Like, let's just say it's our normal world. And then you have to think that like, oh, these things happen all the time. But we just don't know about it.
Yeah.
To make it seem, to make it, okay, we're here in the normal world, but then take it to this level of like these elemental guys.
Just make them demons.
Just make them demons. You don't have to make them so comic booky. Like this guy who's sopping wet. If I saw that guy, I'd be like, would you go dry off? Like you're getting water everywhere. Like, come on, man. Like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, or the what is that? The Earth guy or whatever. It's just like you're tracking in mud.
Yeah.
It's an annoyance.
The story of this whole just plot is annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, here's this guy and he's got a soul because he's the son of the devil, but the devil doesn't have a soul, he doesn't have, but the devil. But then these three guys, they're angels and they do have souls, and then they're with him, and then they're going to get this contract, but the devil wants the contract, but he doesn't want his son to have it.
Yeah. And by the way, he gets souls literally all the time, but we don't want him to have this one contract that has 1,000 souls.
Couldn't they just go?
Because
couldn't they go to the Philadelphia Eagles like parade for the Super Bowl and get 10,000 souls in 1 second and then just be super powerful?
Yeah.
We got to have the 1 billion souls. That's what it feels like.
It does. It's just like, oh, there's 1,000 souls on this paper, and it's just like, okay, you have like how many millions, billions? Like what are we talking about here?
Even like the line delivery for Westbound Lee, like when that chick is hiding behind the bar, she's like looking up, and she finally gets up, and he's right there. He's like, I could smell your fears.
I could smell your fear,
dude.
And then here comes my dad to ruin the soul feeding party.
Yeah.
He has these moments of like it is especially in those moments, Mike. It 100% feels that his role is I'm 19. and I can make my own rules, Dad.
It's like they were trying to play on the father-son relationships between Johnny and his dad, and now his new dad is the devil, kind of. And the devil kind of likes Johnny better than his own son. It's like, I didn't pick up on any of that.
No,
and why are you
the
doing that?
One thing they didn't shove down our throat. But I still got it, you know.
and then it's like almost like a reveal. It's just like I'm gonna retire you, Dad.
Yes.
It's just like
so stupid.
Yeah, we kind of gathered that. I mean, like, you know, but you had to tell us, but at the same time, I feel like you didn't need to. But then
I
you
actually
did.
don't care.
But then you did tell us, and I don't care.
And this,
Because it doesn't change the dynamic for me at all.
right here, I was like, oh, so this is like a fallen angel story, and like, yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
it's like, you know, that he's got daddy issues basically, and like, oh, he likes Nic Cage better.
Wait a second. This whole fucking movie is just daddy issues.
Oh yeah,
God.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
But just
fine.
when you thought like I did, I'm sitting here going, "Fuck this movie." we get back to the new jump. The helicopters show up.
Yeah.
And this is also where I sort of have a problem with the movie, which we'll talk about later. But it's also what saves it for me is Nic Cage being in this movie.
yes.
When him and Donald Logue, which I love their relationship, when those helicopters come down, he goes, "You got helicopter." He goes, "Yeah, my dad thought it would be cool." Donald Logue goes, "He was right." And before he even finishes right, he goes, "Yeah." like Nic Cage goes, "Yeah.
Yeah.
He was right. Yeah." I fucking love it, man.
And saying like spoon feeding the audience, like just like no trust whatsoever in the audience when he's like, instead I got like 6 Black Hawk helicopters, and then flashback to his dad saying that. You know, it's like, remember? Like the audience, like, you remember
him?
Remember that was his idea? Remember you guys? Remember you fucking idiots?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are so dumb. You got
You're right, Sean. They didn't even need to show. He could have just said it was my dad's idea. We'd be like, "Oh yeah, the guy from earlier, from 10 minutes ago. Yeah, we know who he is."
Yeah, I remember him saying that. You didn't have to.
The idea, just like, yeah, my dad thought it'd be cool. Flashback. I think it'd be cool to have helicopters that jump over. Shoo. Remember?
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
It's like, it's whatever, man. Like, I know we are doing The Crow next week, and like, if we want to talk about like origins, or just like, since we're bringing it back around again, that like, you could have done all that stuff in the beginning, that whole origin, very similar in like quicker flashbacks, snippets that accumulated to like 5 to 7 minutes of flashback.
Yeah.
And we could have been just fine. Like, that is the big problem. And coming off of that, I will say, I do want to echo, like, give me more Donald Logue.
Yep.
That's pretty much what I want. I just want more of their relationship and their buddy, them just being friends.
I loved them on the bus, just like
Dude.
hanging out, you know, and him watching his monkey stories. And,
Yeah.
I liked that a lot. I want them, as like if Nic Cage played like a musician or something, and Donald Logue was like his manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Great.
I would watch the shit out of that movie.
Yeah.
Well, and then you get ending out scene 2. It's when first of all, he goes early on the jump because he wants to hurry up and catch up to his girlfriend, whatever her name is. But you can't do that. Like, this is a choreographed scene with
Correct.
helicopters and TV cameras, and we got to thank our sponsors before you do the jump. You can't just do the jump.
Dude, seriously, all
You
of this setup and all this rigmarole to get everyone here, and the amount of time and fuel costs it took to get 6 Black Hawk helicopters, and clearing that with military and clearing that with air traffic control up above and everything, only for 10 seconds.
Yep.
Hey,
But you almost saw a guy get chopped up by helicopter
True.
blades. So,
Hey, we're so guys, let's just go over this one more time, okay? We're gonna have all right. So here it is, guys. 6:30. We're immediately starting pyrotechnics, music. We're gonna have all of our sponsors
then we got
listed.
your national anthem.
National anthem is going to come on in before this. We would like to thank the men and women of our. We're going to thank the military and all the help they put into this. We also want to make sure that we're thanking the airport just across the way. Wherever their thing was.
Yeah.
Like, and from there, Then at 10:35 or 6:35, then we're gonna do this. Then it's gonna be this. Just
He already went. Fuck. We didn't even have the cameras on.
in the background. The only
people were like coming back from like, excuse me, guys,
popcorn and drinks.
Popcorn and their
Where's
beer.
he gonna go?
And like they're just like, he already fucking did it.
And actually, are they implying that there was no like opening acts? There was no like juggling and like.
Dude,
I have to believe that.
You know that fucking Creed was playing this thing, right? Like Creed.
Call me now.
2007. I mean, yeah,
Dude.
Shit.
I'm just saying, like they had that or like Stained or something.
This could have been a Nickelback.
Nickelback?
This could have been like Nickelback's
Oh, this is Nickelback.
breakthrough. Couple era.
driving down the street, been doing lots of things, and I don't know what I'm saying, but I like to play guitar. And like
Having
that's
sex, and there goes her dad. Oh shit!
we don't like to eat.
and all of that just so that he can race down the road to flag her down and stop her, which I kind of enjoy this weird, playful him on the motorcycle scene
Yeah.
around the van. Like I kind of like
That's
this.
very fun. I'm going to continue on this for just 1 second. The fact that like Nickelback was ready to go on stage, be like, all right, guys, let's do it. and Johnny
And then
Blaze,
everybody leaves.
Johnny Blaze outshined Nickelback, and everybody fucking left.
Even the people who didn't see him jump leave.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm not staying for
Fuck,
this.
I'm not staying for
It's
Nickelback.
just Nickelback.
So then you got the
Let's watch the helicopters take off real quick,
the
though.
only people who are staying are the guys who just bought a beer.
I'm staying.
I'm staying. I'm finishing my beer.
You're right, though. I do like this, like him doing the tricks. It's obviously not him, but it's like, it's still funny and dumb. But Ava Mendes, good lord,
She's
she's charming as fuck.
God, and she just had a history of in this era of just falling in love with motorcyclists.
Yeah.
Place Beyond the Pines. That
Yeah.
would have been a couple years after this. I mean, this was kind of her heyday, wasn't it? Of her being in movies.
Oh yeah, I think what Hitch.
Hitch would have been around here. Man, she's awesome, and I very much enjoy her in this role.
Yeah,
for
well,
many reasons.
I would hope that she'd be in movies more nowadays. I know she's just Ryan Gosling's like.
I think she's raising a family.
Yeah.
She's doing her part.
Yeah,
for
which
the
is
family.
awesome. But I'd love to see her out more. That'd be awesome.
I would too.
I am not like. I'm a little conflicted on her.
Oh, yeah?
In this, and like I think that she did they were saying like she wanted to prepare like do justice to the role and everything. Like, she even like. Did they say like she like, gained some weight even for it?
I read that and I was just like, whatever.
Well, no, I know, but like she kind of like gained weight to be more in like figure with the character of the comic
Said
book.
like to be curvier
Or
It was
something.
like with that because that's what the comic book had it was. Like okay,
I'm like, whatever, okay, whatever, dude. But at the same time, some of her performance though, it's like there are parts that I love about it and there are parts that I don't. Like this part where she has these like moments of just like non-confidence that you're just kind of that I'm like,
oh yeah,
gets kind of strange.
And I mean, it's not her fault. It's the writing.
It's the writing.
That what I'm about to say. Maybe you're right on your point.
Okay.
But like the fact that like she has never gotten over him,
Right.
and has like always thought about him every single day, and like that's what it seems like.
that's
You know
a
what I mean?
joke. That's a joke right there because there's no way that
No.
this guy you knew for
Ava
30 days when you were
Mendes?
17.
You mean Roxanne, the fucking 100 out of 10
Yeah.
sitting right here?
Yeah,
No.
You mean to tell me that she's sitting there at that restaurant and asks the freaking busboy if I'm pretty? Fuck no.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah,
Get the fuck out
I
of
don't
here.
that doesn't work at all. You're totally right.
It is funny when she is interviewing him and she does the back and forth with the
Yes.
microphone.
Yeah.
Like I do buy them together just as actors. I
Yeah.
like their chemistry, but I don't buy the storyline of him leaving, understanding when he's 17, understanding that he sold his soul and like believing it and understanding that he can't still run away with her. Like you can still go, like the devil may come someday, but you can still hang out with your girlfriend. You don't have to leave. But then upon seeing her one time 30 years later, like being completely like, okay, now I'm willing to talk to her.
Yeah.
It's just, nothing.
Screeches like an 8-year-old boy when she agrees to go out on a date with him.
Screech?
Him.
Yeah.
He's like, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because we're assuming he's never had sex before.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we assuming that?
I mean,
He's scared what might happen.
Yeah.
He knows he has flames in him.
I mean, you never know what's going to shoot out.
You don't know
Yeah.
until you try it, and then you know, and you're like, oh, that's what happens.
What if he just like runs hot-blooded? What if he's just hot to the touch? You know?
What if he is?
He's got hot dick.
He's got
It's
a
just
super hot
too hot.
load.
Yeah.
He's like lava load.
It's just that's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
That's bad, dude.
That could be bad.
So scene 3, before he can leave for his date, the devil appears and turns Johnny into the Ghost Rider. He has a run-in with Blackheart and defeats Gressel, whoever Gressel is. I think he's the Earth
I don't
guy.
know which one that one is.
He then uses the penitent stare on a street thug before ending up in a graveyard where he meets the caretaker who explains to him what is going on. Sean, this is a question for you. What are your thoughts on these CGI graphics of him turning into the Ghost Rider?
They're pretty cool. Some shots hold up and some definitely don't. I think his performance adds to it. It's like a Wolfman transformation where it's like it seems painful, you know. And I do really like the one shot of actual Nic Cage on fire. His feet are on fire, like panning up to his like face and everything. I think that's really well done. But like the look of Ghost Rider when he's like flaming skull and everything is passable to me. I like it. It's not the best I've ever seen, but like for this movie, I'm like, well, this is why I pay my ticket to see.
This is what we wanted.
Yeah.
Do you think they could do it better? I know they've made a bunch of other Ghost Riders, but I don't think people like them. But if they made one right now that was backed with $200 million, like, do you think it would be the coolest thing ever, or is it just such a hard concept to get on film? Because I was nervous right when it started happening. I go, oh fuck, this is gonna suck, and I was like, oh, actually, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It for 2007, I was like, this looks good. I've seen a lot worse.
I think just the image itself is so like fucking cool looking. It's hard to like do it bad as if you have a good team.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know.
I doubt they would. I feel like they wouldn't even try to do anything practical inside of it.
Yeah.
At this point, I think it would just be CGI. You know what I mean? Like or like in like a mocap sense,
Yeah.
even of like a golem. You know what I mean? That's or Planet of the Apes, like that kind of stuff. Some of that, whatever that CGI was. I know a lot of it was practical, but I think it looks fun. It's entertaining. I think that like some of the cooler facts that I kind of read about this movie though kind of came from a lot of like, we're finally here, right? We're finally at like the flaming skull. Like we were at the Ghost Rider, and like Nic Cage was like really adamant about doing this the right way. He was the one who suggested like laughing at the same time as being hurt, you know, because he said the Ghost Rider would like it. Or that's a good thing to hit, but it would be painful to Johnny.
But that's implying that the Ghost Rider is something different inside of him. But
it's a demon, it says.
It is?
Yeah, it says it's a demon.
So it's actually something that is inside of him that he's just the vessel for
It's
it?
like a venomish kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't really get that at all.
And then that's how he says like that's why he's like reading and says you can control it inside of you. You can bring it to the forefront, or you know, the host can take control of the whatever, is what he was saying. Yeah.
Didn't get any of that.
Well, now you got some.
But they're like, well, if you would have read the comics, like, I don't want to have to read something before I watch the movie.
Michael, here's the thing. No, but no, and then also that skull, that's like a real like rendering of Nic Cage's skull, wasn't it?
He's performing all of this, and they're just like putting CGI over his face.
It's so dumb that they wanted his skull to be the same shape. It's like, fuck, it's a skull.
Maybe
every skull looks the same.
Maybe he just had the perfect skull for it, Mike. You know?
I mean, that's the best part. And it's what you'll see, and it'll still hit me every time when they show like 10 different people of different races and genders, and then they show their skull, and everybody's skull looks the same thing. Like, we all look different on the outside, but that's Nic Cage's skull. Looks like they went to extra lengths to make it really look like him.
Oh yeah,
so they didn't.
Oh yeah.
No, they fucking didn't.
I do want to bring up this point too, but like, some people think that Nic Cage in this, like, kind of like he kind of got fucked over, like the film crew got fucked over by the producers, because, like I said, they wanted this to be rated R. They wanted it to be like close to the comic, and wanted it to be violent and brooding. He wanted like a smoking dude, and so it was Nic Cage basically doing this movie and performing it in a way that was just like so over the top, changing everything about the character pretty much, and just kind of like a slap in the face and fuck you to the studio. And that's why like he makes choices like having a martini glass full of jelly beans, and choices like, I'm going to put my feet on fire no matter how much I'm Nic Cage, and if I get hurt, the movie's shut down. I'm going to do it, and like I'm gonna have my feet on fire. I'm gonna do that stunt. I'm gonna perform all of the stuff that Ghost Rider's doing, but you're just gonna change my face later. There's something to be said about like this is his maybe fuck you to studios not getting this right, and so he's like, well, if you're not gonna do it justice, and I love Ghost Rider, I'm at least gonna do it my way. I'm at least going to kind of say fuck you to the studio for fucking us over.
Yeah.
And like even the director was like, you don't tell Nic Cage no.
Really?
And so like, I mean, he was also getting fucked over by the studio, so he's like, just yeah, he supported every single decision Nicolas Cage had to make on this, and I think that's what I'm getting at. Where I think Nic Cage is a genius in his performances is that like people are in a different movie. People are in Ghost Rider. Nic Cage is in something else in this movie. He truly is, and I think that's the case with most movies that he's in. Like he's elevating this to a different level that people just can't see. Like even his co-stars.
And sometimes it just matches perfectly. Somehow the everything comes together.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking of like in The Rock, like. Whatever he did sort of somehow matched up with what we ended up getting.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of like a subtle genius where he's like, I'm going to skate this line where I do my thing. And like this is a tentpole Marvel $110, $120 million movie. But I'm going to drink jelly beans out of what the fuck?
Yep.
Like a choice like in Cobra where he slices the pizza with the scissors,
Right.
What the fuck?
Why?
That is Sylvester Stallone doing that. You're not going to tell him no. I don't know. Just something to think about, because I think also even Eva Mendes kind of like, because she's got to be around him. She's his co-star. Even with the 8-ball thing. Why the fuck she have an 8-ball?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Why?
I just think that she's being kind of influenced by Cage, just being like, just do whatever.
Hey, I bought you this. Like you should shake it at the table.
It'd be funny.
Okay.
Like I for all the flaws this movie has, I kind of have to like. That's how I think about it. I'm just like, but wait, he's doing something really weird and interesting still. Maybe that's dumb. What do you guys think? If you have any thoughts?
No, I like that, man. That's a great way to put it. He's very misunderstood, unless you want to think about it that way. Like, and that's how I'm going to choose to think about it.
Cool.
I'm not going to say like everything has a perfect purpose, like Nic Cage is Stanley Kubrick or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I get it, because he's going to do what he feels is necessary to elevate this to where he can at least get it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, honestly.
So you get kind of the battle. He meets up with Blackheart. He beats Gressel, and then this is where it's weird. I guess we just needed some sort of reason to find out about the penance stare. But
yes.
when he stops the street thug, you think he's going to be like a crime fighter, but like he's not.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have this scene other than the penance stare, right?
Exactly. And he just straight up leaves the like hero fight portion.
Yeah.
Like he's fighting Blackheart and Grundle and
Fraggers.
he just leaves. Like,
Yeah.
Was there like a conclusive?
No, so as
Like,
he kills Gressel, Gressel's like, save me, and they had all disappeared. So
Okay.
they left the battle.
Okay.
Gressel, isn't
Yes.
that like the part of the chicken that's really tough to eat?
Yeah, I
And
think
that's
so.
what that
There's
is.
nothing left on that plate but Gressel and
Gressel
fat.
and fat. So yeah.
Listen, if he finishes it, can you throw a couple Paul Bunyan hats for the kids? Great outdoors.
Great call.
And so like they're boom. It's just like this weird. Now he's a crime fighter, but we'll never deal with that again. And then he does show up at the graveyard to meet the caretaker. Was he going there for a reason, or was he just drawn to that graveyard?
True. Yeah.
Or is that where his dad was buried?
Oh yeah, no, because yes, wasn't there a scene where he's like
right. He's at
crawling at his dad's grave? I think.
So something made him go there, which of course is very lucky because that's where caretaker lives apparently, and we meet him. And right away I'm like, oh, Sam Elliott's he's not just the narrator. He's in this movie, so he's probably the original Ghost Rider, right? Like I immediately I'm like, I'm not that guy. I don't ever think ahead, but I immediately was like, oh yeah, cool. He's the original Ghost Rider, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No trickery whatsoever in this.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying earlier. It's like I don't know if we were brought into this to just like assume. Yep, that's the OG. It's like I guess so. I like this whole first battle scene. Honestly, I feel like it was very skated over.
Yeah,
it was very skated over. It's like all of a sudden, like the motorcycle just runs him right to the place or whatever, and then he turns into he is this guy, and then all of a sudden, like Blackheart walks out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like they were just in like different buildings in the same like warehouse district. And you're just like, looking for me. It's like, I don't know what I'm looking for.
What does he know what he's looking for?
I suppose.
You look pale and dark-eyed.
Yeah. Are you who I'm looking for? Were you looking for me? Those are more reasonable questions. And so, and then I get to the point of like, you're right. I feel like these were just moments to like, and like even the elemental guys, it's like, well, he's got to figure out different ways to defeat different types of demons. Yeah. Why? Why? Well, we got to figure out how would he beat the water guy? How would he beat the dirt man? How would he do that?
It's fire and water. Yeah. How do you think?
It's like this isn't rock, paper, scissors. Fuck.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It just kind of like, it's very like, we finally get Ghost Rider. Yeah, but it's not that cool. Okay, cool. At least now we get to talk to Sam Elliott. Yeah. Because this is what's funny. These are the best parts of the movie when fucking Nic Cage is being Nic Cage, and you got Sam Elliott. When Sam Elliott's like, sterilize this for me, and he goes, it's like, no, funny. Just dip it in the water over there. Wash it in the water over there. Like, that's really fucking funny to me, man. When Nic Cage, after he leaves this and he's back at his house and he's doing the mirror bit, that is what I'm here for.
Fucking ripped, by the way.
Oh, somebody started a rumor that was like a body double or that it was CGI, and somebody stepped in, like Mark Steven Johnson said, no, that was him. He was fucking ripped.
I don't know why they would have a body. Why?
I don't know.
We added the baby oil, but that was about it.
Baby oil was all we did. We made him do 100 push-ups before we hit record, but that was it.
It's like the idea of like, hey, I'm going to need you to use some of the CGI budget on my abs. Like, what? Like, we don't have the budget for that. It's like, I'm Nic Cage.
I'm Nic Cage.
I mean, I think like it was the best he looked in Con Air, which was
okay.
Maybe 10
minus
years?
like the Wayne grow cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. minus that.
5 o'clock shadow.
Well, let's do scene 4. So the next day, Johnny tries to apologize to Roxanne for missing the date. He tells her the truth, but she leaves, and he's arrested and put in jail for the previous night's event. He turns into the Ghost Rider and breaks out and kills Abigor. Blaze returns home to find that Blackheart has killed Mac and has taken Roxanne. Blackheart then orders Johnny to bring the contract to him in San Venganza.
These are all just food references. We got Gressel, and then you got
albacore,
tuna.
We have to give props.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, we got to give props to Rebel Wilson in this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did not know that was Rebel Wilson. Did you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, who's this actress? But this was her film debut. I think one of the funniest scenes of the entire movie is when they're interviewing her and the camera stays on her and she does the...
whatever gang sign.
That might have been the hardest I laughed in this entire movie.
It's that, and it's also... One, when she like kind of runs away, like the first kind of little bit you get is like her like kind of run away. Thanks, like that kind of thing. But then like, and then she's in, and his head was all like, yeah. on fire.
Yeah, dude, it was like that, dude. Yeah.
You're just like, fuck, that's funny.
And she is Australian, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and this was filmed in Australia, so I'm wondering if she just like somehow got the role and just
I'm
auditioned
sure
for
she was
it.
doing some stand up or something like that, or it was in like a sketch group or something, and boom. I mean, like, she hasn't changed her act since.
No, it's the same.
I will say that.
She's gotten a little bit more like, I don't know. Obviously, this role probably called for her to be like that, more like reserved, kinda shy-ish. But then at the same time, I mean, she's gotten pretty. She became a lot more like raunchy, I guess, in what she was doing, but still very fun.
True.
Yeah.
So this was the jail cell that I was talking about.
Yes.
Sean, I don't understand why these people hate him so much. Johnny Blaze is beloved by everyone. Everyone thinks Johnny Blaze is the coolest guy ever. And these two fuckfaces in the prison they want to fight him because they spent money to see him and he didn't die in front of their eyes.
Yeah.
I paid $10 to see you splat. That's what I should have said for Tomato Meter, by the way.
Oh yeah.
This son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But just superimpose that. We'll just do that in post.
Yeah. Do it in post.
No, but no, it's like that was his reasoning he kind of gave.
What are they pissed off about?
And he's like, he only like hulks out, ghosts out, rides out, like in the presence of evil.
Right.
You know, this isn't evil. This is a drunk tank.
Yeah.
This is just shitheads.
This is just a tank of mistakes. It's not evil.
Fuck.
They're just honest mistakes all throughout this place. Even the guys being dicks are probably honest mistakes.
Yeah.
And if at worst they got into a bar fight or something, right? Because they had too many to drink. Those are mistakes, all right?
I mean, the replacement guys were just in there.
Yeah, exactly. They just got done doing their dance. Was he going to penance stare those guys too?
They're evil as fuck.
He was going to stare at their penises so hard.
Yeah.
He was
that one-eyed truth teller.
fucking A.
Even the kids, like, what the fuck did he do? Like, step on a crack and broke his mama's back?
Yeah, you got.
Remember that? Remember not doing that?
Remember, don't do
A lot of
that.
crack. She's okay.
I don't know, but
fine.
you're right. Again, it's just so cliche and tropey, this kind of thing. It's like, well, you're in jail. We all fucking hate you.
Yeah. See this hat? Means I don't like nobody. It's like, what?
That hat does, huh?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, especially his second. The main guy comes over the bald guy, but the second guy is like,
Oh, yeah.
he's my nominee for most punchable face
I think
ever.
that's a good one, honestly.
That guy sucks.
He does suck. It's he. There's nothing good about him.
A true
you know?
nominee?
But honestly, again,
Nah,
Okay.
he's not that great. He's not even memorable enough to where I remember what he said. So
to be honest, that guy even looks like. That guy looks like he was fishing without a license. You know what I mean? He got caught too many times.
that's exactly what he's doing.
Like, that's
this
it.
isn't the really bad jail.
He's
This is
gonna
the
get-
we're gonna release you tomorrow.
That dude's gonna get a penance stare and his soul fried for for fishing in the wrong creek. You know what I mean?
It just expired yesterday.
It's like, son of a.
What do you want me to do?
Like I forgot they were out of season. I don't know. That's the worst of what's happening in
it
here.
really is.
don't
Jesus.
He just like forgot to update his ID.
Yeah.
Dang it! What an
Shit.
evil bastard.
I'll tell you what though, if my childhood crush from 30 years ago turned out like I haven't seen her in 30 years, haven't really thought about her, but if she turned out to be a demon rider, on fire, possessed by an internal demon, wanted for multiple murders now, I'm gone. Like, I think I'm out.
Yeah.
The fact that that stupid ass trope that she comes back to apologize to him.
Yeah. I
Oh
know.
yeah. I
Fuck all of this, man.
didn't understand any of it.
I came to apologize for being mad at you for not coming to our date.
For standing me up again. 30 years later.
I came to apologize for not believing you about the most unbelievable thing that's probably ever happened in the human world, at least here in this town.
Yeah, my bad.
On this continent, I'm sorry I didn't believe you that you were turning into a flaming skeleton. It was just really hard to believe at the moment, until I saw it.
Do you think we can make out? No one finds me attractive. I haven't had sex in 20 years. Everybody thinks I'm ugly. I need it.
Everyone, I'm Eva Mendes, and nobody thinks I'm attractive. What fucking world are we in?
I asked a busboy. You should have seen the dress I had on. I asked a busboy if he thought I was hot.
Even in that scene, like I presume she's there at 8, and we cut back to Nic Cage still giving himself a pep talk in the mirror.
I know.
So it wasn't even
was going to be late.
It wasn't even like Ghost Rider's fault that
It
he
was his
late.
fault. I wish he would have been. Well, actually, wait a minute. Why
He's
does
just
he?
an asshole?
Doesn't he only turn into Ghost Rider in the presence of evil?
Yeah.
What does he turn into Ghost Rider the first time for?
Well,
Then?
there was evil.
Well, he
Abagon was there.
Albacore.
Yeah.
Was
Albatross.
Albatross was out there doing fish shit.
You know.
And yeah,
The wind demon. Everybody knows that.
Was that who Albacore is?
Albacore is the wind demon, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is he the water one?
Acetaminophen was like the water one. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Gabapentin was
And,
the one.
and fucking naproxen over there.
Fuck.
Naproxen. it's like me getting like my some medicine in the morning after I drank a couple. Like the night before.
The wind guy. Albuterol.
And that's the obvious. Albuterol is obviously what the wind guys call.
Albuterol, naproxen, acetaminophen. Good to see you. Fucking Blackheart's just taking meds.
And then his name is just Blackheart.
Yeah, he's got daddy issues.
He said that's
He's so imperfect.
Blackheart. He's got it's heartburn is what he's got. Looking for Tums.
They call him Tums. Tum.
See, this is way better. In fact, we're gonna have 2 movies in a row now where the villains have just extremely questionable names.
Sure.
We're gonna have 2 in a row at this point.
Mephistopheles.
Tune in next week for The Crow, and you know what we're talking about. Jesus.
His dad is Rolaids. Go ahead. Go on.
When he does pull out of the cop station, it is pretty fucking badass. Like I do like. This is like peak awesome Ghost Rider to me. I think that like him pulling out of the cop station and like changing the sign to garage to rage and like fuck at it, and then I don't know, like the scenes of him like going up the building on the motorcycle is so fucking sick. And especially coming down, like he just whips the chain and like catches on something. Like all of that looks fucking dope to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
It's why I'm here.
This is what I'm here for.
Forget it.
Talk.
It's why I'm here though. It's like it's what I want more of.
Yeah.
This is what happens in a lot of these movies, and like I think about other comic book movies, and you think about like this is what happened with Spider-Man 2. Like Tobey Maguire's like Spider-Man 2, arguably the best of the trilogy for sure, 100%. But
Can you make that a minute long so we can TikTok it? I'm just joking.
yeah,
It's
you
fine.
bet.
I don't think that's even like, a hot take.
Okay, then don't do it.
Well, I'm just saying, guys. But we have like number 2 becomes this thing. They shouldn't call the movie Spider-Man 2. It should be Peter Parker 1 because it's just Peter Parker dealing with his bullshit a lot. And then you have
in Spider-Man 1,
in Spider-Man 2.
In Spider-Man, okay.
It becomes a lot of him just dealing with his own Peter Parkerisms.
Gotcha.
To the point that he ends up like starting to like lose his powers and stuff. But this is like the same thing. It's like, I don't need more Johnny Blaze. You've given me plenty of that.
Yeah.
Already in the beginning of this movie. I don't need any more. I need to watch him be Ghost Rider.
Yeah, we need to watch him like wrangle a helicopter.
Yeah.
And say you're pissing me off.
Fucking A.
And like
This is
send
what
him outta
we
here.
want.
Yeah.
When he gets his chain for the first time and flaps it around, I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
what I want.
Yeah, this is the part of the origin story that we want. We need to get past, and it's like it is my biggest harp to superhero movies, shows, whatever. They will spend so much time, half of anything, half of a movie, half of a first season, talking about the trials and tribulations of the character and not the actual superhero. And it's like, let's move on. Let's have some freaking fun here.
Yeah.
Use your budget. Please, for the love of God, use your budget. I want to see you wrangle the helicopters. I want to see flaming chains. I want to see this motorcycle turn into an absolute beast that like Orange County Choppers built. You know what I mean? And that's what I want. And we take so long to get there, and then we get even another like second rendition of mentorship with the caretaker. So it just kind of the pace just keeps getting interrupted for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, our final thoughts. It's definitely way too long.
Yeah,
and it's so jumbled up too, where it's like, yes, when we cut back to Johnny Blaze, at least it is Nic Cage.
100%.
That's it. Yeah.
But also we have movie to take care of and script to get through, so it's like, okay, and so it's not as Nic Cage as you want it to be. But like when it does get to Ghost Rider shit, you're like, fucking metal, dude, fucking Black Sabbath, bro. Yeah.
And like as a person who, like when it comes to like superheroes or like anti-heroes. Because Ghost Rider is an anti-hero, which again I think it's kind of left in the dust, pun intended, because
left in the Abagor,
left in the Gressel.
I'm gonna start saying that.
Leave that in the Gressel, brother.
Yeah,
but like it's the fact that like, like this anti-hero aspect, he even still feels too much hero-y. At points. I should be a little afraid of Ghost Rider as a watcher.
Yeah, it was almost even to the point where like they could have even cut to a shot of like a little kid being like, "Wow, Ghost Rider."
Yeah, it was to that point.
Aspiring to be like you don't want to aspire.
Nobody wants to be Ghost Rider.
When I grow up.
That's a great point. Yeah.
So that's my big thing, and like I want it, and you're right. Like, thank God it's Nic Cage when we cut back. It's just one of those things. It still does feel, and I totally understand why he would want this to be rated R. It's like the Punisher, man. The Punisher, Ghost Rider. Trying to think of some of those other anti-heroes that are out there, but they're not coming to my head. But that's what I want more of, I guess. I want some more anti-hero. I want to be a little bit afraid of him too.
I will say the effect of his like demon stare, or whatever it's called, the penance stare, penis stare, that like that effect of like the black charred like
pretty cool
ember eyes. That looks really freaky.
It does.
That looks really cool,
especially for the fact that you have to realize that they're still like alive.
Yeah,
because you watch one of them blink.
Oh yeah. Now they're just stuck with that.
Isn't that fucked?
Don't like that.
You got to think like they got wards now that are dedicated to people who got penance stare. True. They're just like, oh, we got another one, huh? Fuck.
Shit.
This guy's on a rampage. We don't have the infrastructure.
We don't.
Fuck.
Well, let's finish it off. Scene 5, Blaze returns to the caretaker and obtains the contract. The caretaker reveals that he is Carter Slade.
What?
Slade then leads Johnny to San Venganza. After killing Wallow, Blaze gives the contract to Blackheart, who uses the contract to absorb the 1,000 souls into his body. Ghost Rider uses his penance stare to render Blackheart catatonic by burning all the corrupt souls within him. Mephistopheles appears and declares the contract is complete, offering to take back the curse of the Ghost Rider. Johnny says no, rides away on his motorcycle, preparing for his new life as the Ghost Rider.
Damn.
The thing about it is this was not a surprise to me to find out that he was Carter Slade, but it also, now seeing him turn into the Ghost Rider that he was,
sick.
It actually makes me think that this is the most boring version of Ghost Rider. The motorcycle Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
To me, like the horse rider is way cooler. Think about like a samurai Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Think about like a pirate Ghost Rider.
That was the one I had in mind.
I'm thinking about all the previous ones. The fucking motorcycle one, it feels like the most boring one to me in history. If you start thinking about the old ones.
Today's Ghost Rider is like on TikTok, like mean comments, just like head ablaze.
Fuck it. His phone is a badass.
He's a Ghost Rider. He's a ghost meme comment writer.
He's got an iPhone as his
phone
ride.
Transforms and the apple turns into a skull.
Like a skull. Yeah. It looks like a little Nicky phone, like the little Nicky flask.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Wait,
man.
what about 1915 Ghost Rider, like John Dillinger style? Just like Yeah, see?
Just in like a weird car.
You'll never catch me. I'll get you with my penance stare.
Dude, fucking Elliot Ness was a
Fuck yeah,
Ghost
dude.
Rider.
Elliot Ness is the Ghost Rider.
That'd be sick.
Pretty
Dude.
fucking cool.
Oh, that'd be great.
You're right though. Like we just named off as barring
Just
mine,
really quick, a couple
barring
fun
mine, all badass ones. Yes.
And the motorcycle one, yeah.
Imagine like a legend. The legend has it.
Legend has it.
Like
Legend
seeing being like a western town and seeing like in the distance just a flaming fucking head go by. You know?
Yeah, it's
like
go-
and that
yeah.
was just like a story that people told. You know, that's super cool. But
Yeah.
also like this build up is like and then we get like the badass like western kind of tone song of them riding, and then we get there and Sam Elliott's like, "Yep, I'm done."
I know.
Sean, God damn it. I was hoping you would at least be able to tell me what the fuck happened here. He's literally like, I got to change. I'm going to change just so I can show you how to get there, and then I got to go home.
You could have just said that way.
Yep.
Or have him fight the battle.
And see, that's the thing. I think because it's Sam Elliott. I think it's for Sam Elliott in his contract to just be like, I'm not going to do any fight scenes. I will use.
He doesn't have to.
I will use my voice the entire movie if you want me to, because I'm so flattered that you even wrote this character based off me. Apparently, like maybe that, but like this is such a letdown.
It's such a letdown.
Such a letdown.
It's
man.
the coolest ride out there. We're listening to this like kind of new version of Ghost Riders in the Sky.
like Knights of Sidonia by Muse-ish kind of thing.
Yes.
Very much so that you're just like, you're listening to this. You're like, man,
two Ghost Riders going at it. Let's go.
you see like the trails, like the bike trail, but then like the hoofs that are flames. You're like, man, this is so cool. Carter Slade looks so badass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he hands him that gun, and I'm like, here we go. And he's like,
I gotta go. Apparently, I can only change one more
I
time.
can only-
Again.
Also, I have to live on hallowed ground. I've been door dashing food to me for 100 years because I can't leave hallowed ground. So that's how I get my food. I've been there for a long
I've
time.
been door dashing.
He can't leave.
That's the modern day Ghost Rider.
That is a Ghost
Sits at home
Rider.
and door dashes.
DoorDash worker.
He lives on. Yeah, he's on hallowed ground and he just TikToks and door dashes.
He drives a Tesla. He's an Uber and DoorDasher.
I like that a lot.
Fucking A.
Yeah, man. It's just
Delivering souls.
it's my favorite.
Delivery or pickup.
But again, like it's just spoon feeding the audience, just like exactly what we know. It's just like, yep, I was saving my last ride just for this moment. It's like, why?
Why?
Who cares?
Well, why'd you turn it off?
Yeah.
You could have just left it on
Why don't
while
you
we
flip
went
the
in
switch,
there.
dude? It's not like you have, like you're Ghost Rider, you're old bones, but whatever.
Yeah, dude. Like, you know, they're old bones, but they're good bones. It's like talking about an old house.
And
you
then
know?
he's like, his word of advice, like to go battle,
He's whatever.
Heartbreaker,
Wallow.
yeah,
Willow, the
go-
little dwarf, you know, from that movie.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Willow,
Yes.
Willow, yes.
Willow.
He's like, my word of advice: stick to the shadows. You're on fire.
Yeah.
You make shadows.
I create shadows. So what do you mean?
Is that like a covert kind of advice? Like it's my camo. Like stick to the shadows so he doesn't see me. I am a literal beacon.
I'm literally a torch, so people can see in the night. So
I erase.
I'm a
I
human
erase
match.
darkness.
Not only are you not gonna join me into this fucking epic battle, you're just gonna give me that bullshit and take off.
It
By
really
the way-
doesn't help me.
By the way, this shotgun has 2 shells in it.
You didn't give me any ammo.
So what am I doing here? Like, it's just, man, what a pitter out. Like,
The whole rest of this just had me on a negative foot once he left. And then he's all of a sudden not Ghost Rider anymore. You're like, I don't like this at all.
by the way, he's got to make that whole long ride back as a normie.
With Ava.
Like, he's like, oh, yeah, well, I mean, like Sam Elliott.
Oh, Sam Elliott
okay.
does.
Sam Elliott's on a horse. Like, you know, at least
That
when he was a
horse
demon,
died. The horse died on the way there.
at least as a demon, he didn't feel like the saddle sore, right? But like, he's human
Now
now.
he's human.
And that horse
And his horse is really old.
is and very thirsty because he's been on fire for I don't know how long. And he's just having a hell of a time. He's got to ride back in the dark. Because again, he can't light his own torch.
There's no lantern left. He turned it off.
He's trying to follow his trail of like burnt fucking shit, but he can't see it.
It's like
so he left his headlamp at home.
It's like the Hardy Boys. He followed the trail.
Legend has it.
Legend has it.
And then Wes Bentley, even more, just hamming it up.
Yeah.
Just the like, this is the contract of San Venganza. All of you, come to me.
It's like, you don't sound tough. He doesn't sound tough. This is where they should have probably like done like the superimposed voice.
Yeah.
Given us something.
Instead, they had it earlier on when he was like just having a conversation.
Yeah. And like, it just, and then he becomes like this kind of darker demon version. Just fine.
Blade, they just recreate Blade at this moment, basically. Like
pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what this whole end scene is.
True.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know. I just like Wes Bentley. It's not intimidating as it should be anymore. And like, I don't know. And then the idea of, I don't know. The final battle is just not that great.
Oh, I like when he fought the acetaminophen guy.
Yeah.
Underwater, or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay. And then we get to Wes Bentley. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
and then the emphysema comes up or something.
Yeah.
With Peter Fonda's character.
That's Mylanta.
Yeah.
Mylanta. Yeah.
Mylanta.
Yep. Tummy troubles. He's having tummy troubles. He
was just like, and then Nic Cage gives his speech, and he's like, I'm the spirit of vengeance, or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
I'm gonna.
Let's just.
He does his pose again.
Oh yeah,
that he did in the
like
beginning.
An Elvis thing.
I'm gonna
throughout.
I'm gonna use this curse. I'm gonna use it to defeat.
This is a snakeskin jacket.
Yeah, snakeskin.
But let me get this correct. So the devil comes up and basically says, "Hey man, you did what I needed. Now that you've reignited with your old girl, and you wanna have a good life now, I'm willing to take this demon out of you, and you can live a normal life." And he says, "No, I want to remain a demon for the next 200 years and fight crime."
I think my take on it was because the devil was going to give this burden to somebody else. Like he was going to give the spirit of Ghost Rider to someone else and ruin someone else's life. But now that Nic Cage, Johnny Blaze, has harnessed it, he's like, better me than somebody else innocent.
That's a heroic sentiment that did not come across.
Okay.
Yeah, right? This is me reaching for like, okay, I want to make sure I understood this.
Yeah.
No, you really don't. And you know what? You don't really get earlier on when he's like, I will, if you can kill Blackheart, I will give you your soul back. Like you don't, that's really quick.
And he does. It's like, by the way, I don't really feel like the devil's like that bad of a dude in this. He's just like, hey, dude, thanks a lot. You did it. You got me that contract. I mean, this is a big deal. I'm pretty proud of you, man. Like I'm good. Bygones be bygones.
You killed my son. Do you want to be my son?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you don't have a dad.
I can make Roxanne hotter if you need.
We can, like, I don't know if it's possible, but I'll try. And it's just like,
because the movie thinks she's not hot.
okay, yeah.
It's a hilarious comic book trope.
It's like, oh yeah, these extremely attractive women, they're not hot.
They ain't hot.
They ain't.
I'm sorry about her. I can give her bigger boobs if you need.
It's like, oh man, I'm so sorry you have to put up with this. It's like fucking what's the other guys?
Yes.
Even Mendez is in that. It's just Will Ferrell just be like, I'm sorry for the way she's dressed. She's just like knocked out.
Mark Wahlberg's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is your wife?
Nuh-uh.
Anyway. But no, it's just like, it is. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, thanks for doing that. No, I'm going to use this. It's like, fuck you, dude. It's like, I thought we were going to get along. Now you're just being rude. That's fucked up, man.
Well, boys, anything else you want to talk about on this one?
That's it for me.
We've dissected it with a modern eye. We got to give it a modern day rating. We're going to go to AJ first. AJ, what is your modern day rating, 0 out of 10, for this movie?
0 out of 10. Man. I'll tell you this, guys. I wanted so bad. I was really looking forward to this, actually. I thought it was going to be like super, just kind of a fun watch. I knew it was going to be like a fun episode, and it really was. But at the same time, it's like, man, I went into this thinking to myself, I'm really going to give this like a chance to be something good. It's tough. It's another long movie. It's a tall ask for us to like go through this movie. On the shoulders of Nic Cage, and the thighs of Eva Mendes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, come on. It's a tough ask. It really is. It's a tall ask. And I don't know. I think my biggest thing, it's so sloppy. It's very sloppy. There's not a lot of continuity. It's way too on the nose. We get too much origin story. The pace of the movie keeps getting interrupted when all we want is just more Ghost Rider. And it's less like, it's just, we want it so bad. And it's like they took this idea of like, oh, always leave them wanting more. It's like, no, you didn't give me anything, hardly. You didn't give me near enough. It's not that I want more. It's like I want what's fair, I feel like, out of a movie that's titled Ghost Rider. So that's kind of where I am. And then, by the way, you killed off Donald Logue. You didn't even talk about that, which was one of my biggest disappointments. Did not need to actually happen.
Nope.
No.
Like, because it didn't elicit anything of like, of the frustration we're probably supposed to feel from it. It's like, well, it's fucked. I guess but then we just move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's never brought back. I don't think we even really see him get upset about it.
He looks at him and says, Mac, and then moves on in half a second.
Yeah.
Mac, I've known you for 25 years, but that girl that I haven't seen in 30 years, we got to go get her.
So that's what I mean. Like, we just leave things untold. So I honestly, man, I think I've got to go. I'm going to go with I'm going to at least give this, I'm going to give this the same as I gave Cobra, and that is a 5.
Straight up 5 for the age. Sean, what about you, man?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, AJ. I think that it's way too long. I think it's a little overbloated for me. Nic Cage absolutely saves it. I do think Eva Mendes's performance is a little underrated in this. I think she's great. I do like when I brought up with Nic Cage, like the whole behind the scenes of him like making his own movie. I do actually believe that, and that does make it fun for me to like go back and rewatch and keep that in mind, just like the decisions that are made. But overall, like it's like it's so tropey and it's so like tired for me that it just can't rise above a great Nic Cage movie. Whenever he's on screen, I love the movie. Whenever Ghost Rider is being awesome, it's great. But you still have to get through like this overwrought plot that we've seen so many times still, and it just gets a little tired, as I said. And so I'm gonna go 5.8 for me.
5.8 for Sean. Yeah, this is just a tough watch. I mean, it's the plot is just weird. It's just not even a great story. Maybe the comic's better, but they just didn't adapt it well with the just like selling your soul for something that's really not as important as it should be, to then really not even knowing if you're selling your soul, to then so much time passing. When it was great, it was great. When Nic Cage was being Nic Cage, it was awesome. Eva Mendes was great. Donald Logue was great. The elements, the Acetaminophen and his gang were fucking terrible. Like I was never once scared of any evil person in this movie. Like I was never worried about, is Ghost Rider going to be able to pull it off? No, of course he is. This is stupid.
It's a good point.
I didn't really directly say. They were just very throwaway bad guys.
Where
they weren't even like tough battles.
Yeah, I will say, like in doing The Crow next week, where it's the complete opposite for me. Like all of them have personality,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it a 4.9. We do have to go to Starling. Starling said there's nothing quite like a good old-fashioned deal with the devil story, except when it's Ghost Rider, which takes that premise, drags it behind a flaming motorcycle, and leaves it to die in a ditch somewhere in Texas. I'm still trying to get the story straight while refusing to watch this a second time. Instead of the devil goes down to Georgia, he heads to Texas. There's a contract containing 1,000 souls collected by a supernatural bounty hunter. We're told that it is so powerful. But why? What can it do? Can't you just collect another 1,000 evil souls?
Thank you.
You can do that in a weekend in Florida at spring break. And let's talk about that deal. Normally, a pact with Satan carries some weight. Rosemary's Baby, The Devil's Advocate, hell, even The Little Mermaid. Here, we get a kid trading his soul for a not-so-great dad whose relationship barely registers as meaningful. Then he promptly drops dead immediately after being saved. No drawn-out suffering, no ironic twist, just a dad in the dirt and a son who flees town, presumably to keep his girlfriend safe. I would have made a deal like Feruzia Balk from Girlfriend from The Craft and asked the devil to get me out of that trailer. Something. And then nothing happens. Johnny Blaze is left alone for what appears to be 20 to 35 years, measuring time by Nicolas Cage's face and forehead, while his doe-eyed childhood sweetheart Roxy travels through some multiverse into the future, comes out as a hot Latina Eva Mendes.
Yeah.
The only casting decision I'll defend is Wes Bentley as Blackheart. He looks the part, and at one point my mind wandered off thinking how we could save this by adjusting the plot and turning this into a vampire movie. That said, I had to rewind at least 3 times because I swore I must have missed an entire scene where a demon massacres a whole bar off screen. It was just poof, a cutaway and everyone's dead. A masterpiece of lazy storytelling or heavy editing. And let's talk about this missing contract. It's been lost for over 100 years. Rumored to be in a graveyard and suddenly everyone wants it now? Why? What changed? Literally nothing. Why wouldn't these demons have shown up the moment they first heard about the rumor being buried in the graveyard? And just when you think the movie is shambling towards an ending, the police get involved. I feel like I zoned out for a second and wondered what I missed, but decided that rewinding had already proven to be fruitless for this movie, so I carried on. We have our final scenes with Carter Slade in a cool transformation, riding by our side, and then he's gone. Absolutely no help whatsoever. We also have to fight in the shadows because our powers don't work in the sunlight. It doesn't matter because a chick with a gun saves the day, followed by a death blow with a death stare, not the creepy ass flame powers that set you apart from all other superheroes. Ghost Rider is what happens when you take a cool comic book premise, give it a budget, and then actively choose not to make sense. Look, I love Marvel movies. I have rarely missed an opening weekend, but who asked for this to come to the silver screen? I love camp, but this isn't camp. Nic Cage trying to be a Texan by saying Italian feels like this entire movie got greenlit based on how cool Cage looked when he and his bike were transformed and on fire. Worst Marvel movie ever. Whoa. 5.25 from Starling. So as a group, guys, it's not going to be pretty good. We are a 5.24. It's going to take us. That's going to be bottom 20. We think that Cobra, Cliffhangers, Batman, and Mortal Kombat are better, but we think that this is better than American Pie, Lost Boys, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Ooh.
Oh,
Lost
man.
Boys hurts.
Yeah,
Lost Boys is my fault. I am the one that brought that down, and I will maybe go to revisit that someday.
Okay,
but
good.
That's where we're at, guys.
All right.
Respect.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here. Tune in next week. The Crow. Trenchcoat Trinity is complete, followed by My Cousin Vinny, another Patreon voted movie. And if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year, The Replacements.
Boom.
Apparently, the young kids, it's having like a resurgence, the Replacements is. I saw an article on that.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why,
Really?
but go back and listen to our episode from a year
Hey,
ago.
all young kids, go check out our episode.
Our episode. Well, we also got to thank Upload Media Group. We got Brian on the controls. Good to have you back, brother. UploadMediaGroup.com. Learn more from our network, Cloud10, cloud10.fm. That's it for us.
Thank you, guys. I love you.
Thanks again for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Make sure you're checking us out on YouTube here in the studio, hanging out with us live and in person in the studs. Check us out on social media. Search for Confused Breakfast at Confused Breakfast anywhere on social media. And please leave us a review. 5 stars on any platform that you're listening on. Write us a comment on Spotify or an Apple Podcast. Write us a review. We love to read them.
Go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the merch that we have. You can see the shirts. We have new shirts up there. It's awesome. I believe it. You can go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the ratings of the movies that we have covered. You can see AJ's ratings. You can see Mike's ratings. And you can see my ratings and the show's ratings overall. Goodbye. I love you.
Thanks to Brian on the controls here at Upload Media Group. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com and learn more about our network Cloud 10 at cloud10.fm. We love you so much. Go on to the next video.